Welcome to Bethel Online Education Hub. Learn anytime, anywhere. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more. Let's learn together, the Bethel way.
Our lesson would be about qualitative research design. Qualitative research focuses on exploring and understanding human behavior, experiences, and social phenomena through non numerical data. Unlike quantitative research, which relies on statistics, qualitative research uses methods like interviews, observations, and focus groups to gather in-depth insights. So let's talk about it more. So, what is qualitative research? If titingnan nyo yung picture, makikita nyo dyan yung researcher, ito kayo, and then ano ba yung mga studies na nire-research niya or pinag-aaralan. So, una, human behavior. Pangalawa, perspective. Pangatlo, experiences. Kapag halimbawa, yung mga studies na to ay nagawa na niya, magkakaroon na siya ng non-numerical data. Pag sinabi mong non-numerical data, hindi mo kailangan ng numbers para sa output nung research mo. Since qualitative research to, ang pinag-uusapan natin ay human behavior, experiences, or social phenomena. So, paano ba ito gagawin? Pag qualitative research kasi, pwede kang gumamit ng methods like interviews, observations, o kaya focus group discussion with your chosen target or population. So, meron tayong iba't ibang klase ng qualitative research or iba't ibang types. So, other input about qualitative research. Qualitative research is a methodology that researchers use to study and understand human behavior, experiences, and perspective. It uses non-numerical data collected through various types of qualitative research. So kanina, sabi natin, meron siyang various types ng qualitative research. So first, kung makikita nyo dyan, grounded theory, narrative research, ethnographic research, phenomenology, case study, one-on-one interviews, observation, and focus groups. So, pag-usapan natin siya isa-isa. So, una, yung grounded theory. So, pag grounded theory, researchers first collect real-life data like individuals' experiences, thoughts, and ideas. After that, they study the collected data to create a theory that explains a particular behavior, pattern, or situation. So, meron tayong example. In China, a few researchers conducted a study on 19 patients who recovered from Crohn's disease to study how they felt more positive about life after recovery. The researchers took detailed interviews with questions like what positive changes have you made during your interaction with the disease or etc. They then formulated a ground theory that to reconstruct self from the illness there were four stages: suffering from the illness, accepting the illness, dancing with the illness, and enriching life beyond the illness. This is an example of how researchers generated a theory based on real data. So ito, meron silang study na kinundak. So Crohn's disease, isa siyang type ng disease sa China. So halimbawa, since may nagkasakit, nagtanong sila kung ano ba yung mga nararamdaman nila, kung ano ba yung mga pagbabago. So based dun sa mga answers regarding sa questions na binigay nila, dun sila nag-formulate ng theory. So in short, yung theory meron siyang pinanggagalingan, hindi lang siya basta-basta invento. Next is narrative. Narrative research is a method where researchers focus on personal experiences, finding individual with relevant stories, They collect these theories or stories through interviews or written sources like libraries and databases. After gathering these narratives, researchers identify common themes and patterns to enhance our understanding of a specific topic. So, for example, in 2023, researchers in the US studied how not having a stable place to live can affect people's health. They talked with people living in bad conditions or had trouble paying rent. After collecting the interview data, researchers studied each individual's narrative to reach a conclusion. The study found that when housing isn't stable, it can lead to health problems like being overweight, high blood pressure, diabetes, heart issues, etc. This shows that not having a stable home can really hurt a person's health. So again, tulad ng sinabi dun, sa narrative research natin. So, galing to sa personal experiences. Tapos, mga individuals na may iba't ibang story. Hindi ka naman basta-basta makakapag-research ng galing lang sa chismis. Kasi kailangan meron kang proof na nangyari yun. Tapos, kaya siya tinawag na narrative kasi isusulat mo yung mga sasabihin nila sa'yo. So, para siyang magiging isang um, essay writing. Ganun siya. So, based dun sa nakuha mo, sa narrative research mo, makakakuha ka ng pattern. Kung tulad ng example kanina, um, ang tanong do'n sa US daw, anong nangyayari kapag halimbawa hindi stable yung lugar na tinitirahan mo? In short, nagre-rent ka lang tapos wala ka ng pang-rent o kaya kagaya dito sa Pinas na walang bahay, sa kalsada nakatira. So, nangyayari yun. So, in short, hindi siya imbento. Meron talaga silang mga tao na tinanong tungkol sa ganong sitwasyon at nakakuha sila ng sagot. Next type is phenomenological approach or phenomenological research. It is a branch of philosophy that studies individuals' unique experiences and perspective. It explores how people understand their surroundings by analyzing people's first-hand encounters, feelings, and how they interpret the world. So, for example, between 2020 and 2021, researchers studied 13 people who survived COVID-19 after intensive care. They found five important things about how these people got better. For this, researchers used phenomenology research to understand the patient's first-hand experiences. The study showed that these patients needed familiar things or people in their surroundings for a faster recovery. Now, this information can help doctors and nurses understand what patients need and how to treat them better. So, sa type of approach for phenomenological approach or research dito, pinag-aaralan yung mga first-time experience na naranasan ng tao. So, lahat naman tayo nakaranas ng COVID-19. So, first time yun. Tapos, siyempre, aalamin mo dun ano ba yung nangyari during COVID, ano yung mga pagbabago, paano ba nakasurvive, ano yung ginawa nila para mas maging better. So, after nun, since yung study na to is regarding about health, makakatulong to sa mga doctors para mas maintindihan yung patients nila. Meron kasing mga patients na lalo na yung mga irritable kapag nasa ospital, yung mga maiinit ang ulo, hindi mo sila dapat i-judge. So, pag gumamit ka ng ganitong klase ng approach, yung phenomenology approach or phenomenological research, malalaman mo kung bakit ganun yung nagiging behavior ng isang tao, lalo na kung first time na nangyari. Next on our list is historical research. The process of investigating, understanding past events, documents, and records to find valuable insight about historical occurrences. It involves digging into the past to create a clearer picture of what happened, why it happened, and its impact on societies or individuals. For example, in Europe, researchers conducted a historical research study where they analyzed skeletal data for more than 1,000 dental records dating back to 1,200 after death. The study focused on the presence or absence of linear enamel hypoplasia, a significant stress indicator. They compared the occurrence of LEH in male and female teeth from different locations. This data gave the scientists information on the living conditions and gender-related experiences of both men and women during the historical period. If ever mahilig kayo sa mga movies regarding with discovery, ito yung kagaya ng mga anthropologists na nagkukutkot or naghahanap ng kung ano-ano sa disyerto, nagbubungkal, tapos kapag halimbawa may nakita silang anumang bagay, paso, buto ng tao, pinag-aaralan nila yun. Kasi about yun sa past. So pag sinabi mong past, nakaraan na. Kaya nga historical research. Ano ba yung nangyari sa mga nakaraan na events sa mundo or events sa Philippines? So, pwede kayong kumuha ng mga examples gamit yung mga documents o kaya kung may makita kayong mga records sa library na pwede niyong gawing references, pwede niyong gawin yung type ng research na to. Next type of qualitative research is case study. Case studies are a way to deeply investigate and understand particular person, group, company, or event. They are in-depth stories that help us learn more about specific situations or issues. Researchers or analysts use case studies to gain valuable insights into what's happening in a focus area, making complex topics easier to grasp by looking closely at real-life examples. So, sinabi na dyan, real-life examples. In short, hindi lang siya basta-basta imbento, ito ay nanggaling sa mga pinagdaanan ng iba't ibang klase ng tao or sa kung ano ba yung naging behavior nila regarding sa isang issue or situation. Pero ito in-depth. So, in short, malalim yung pinagmumulan or pinagkukunan. Um, so, pag sinabing in-depth story, meron lang certain situation na i-research mo. Hindi kasi pwedeng madami sila. Dapat focus ka lang sa isa para mas makuha mo yung mga details na kailangan mo. One-on-one interviews. It focuses on discussions between a researcher and an individual, aimed at gathering detailed insights, viewpoints, and personal experiences from the participant. For example, researcher conducted a study to understand how well police officers do their interviews or interrogations. The experts found that when officers didn't sleep well, they had a harder time staying focused and calm during interviews, especially when people they were talking to didn't cooperate. So one-on-one, in short, hindi siya group. Dalawa lang kayo kapag halimbawa mag-research ka. Tapos, isusulat mo lahat ng personal experiences niya, viewpoints, insights. Katulad dito sabi, yung mga police officer kapag nag-interrogate sila, kung nakakapanood kayo ng mga movie na may police officer na nag-interrogate, di ba merong iba doon mabait, yung character, yung iba naman kapag nag-interrogate, galit na galit, gustong-gustong binubugbog yung ini-interrogate nila. So, behavior pa rin yun. Pag one-on-one kasi, mas madali mo siyang malalaman, mas madali mong makikilala, at saka mas madali mong makikita kung ano ba yung behavior ng isang tao. Minsan kasi kapag group sila, medyo magulo. Pwede kasing pareho silang mabait, pwede pareho silang confused, or pareho silang magagalitin. Pero pag one-on-one, kung ano lang yung behavior ng tao na to habang ini-interview mo siya or habang ni-research mo siya, Yun lang yung makikita mo kasi focus ka sa isa. Next is focus group. A focus group is a small interactive discussion led by a moderator, usually with 6 to 10 participants. It's a qualitative research method that delves into people's perception, opinions, and experiences regarding a particular topic, product, or service. This session helps gather diverse insights in a conversational and group setting. So, focus group discussion. Pwedeng 6 to 10 participants kayo. Tapos, pag ganito naman yung research type na gagawin nyo. Normally kasi, ang kinukuha nyo is opinions and then experiences ng iba't ibang klase ng tao. So, halimbawa, meron kayong isang certain issue or isang certain topic. Tapos, tatanungin mo lang sila, ano ba yung opinion nila tungkol dito? Ano yung perception nila tungkol sa bagay na to? Or paano nila na-experience yung ganitong issue? So, since group yan, lahat na makukuha niyong sagot, kailangan niyo siyang isulat or i-gather as your data. Wala kayong palalagpasin kahit isa. Next type is observations. A way of carefully watching and noting down what people do or how things happen in a specific place or situation. Researchers use this method to understand behavior and interactions without talking to people directly. It's like quietly watching to learn more about how things work or how people behave. So, pag ito, hindi niyo na kailangan magtanong, hindi niyo na kailangan ng hi, hello. So, upo ka lang sa isang tabi, observe mo lang sila. Kung anong nakikita mo, yun yung isusulat mo. Siyempre, kung ano lang yung nakikita mo. Huwag mo naman dagdagan ng iba pang bagay. Kaya nga sinabing observation. Mag-o-observe lang kayo nang wala kayong kakausapin. Next on our list is about action research. A method researchers use typically within organizations to tackle problems in a practical and hands-on way. It involves a cycle of identifying issues, taking action to solve them, and then studying the results to guide future actions. So kapag action research, ibig sabihin, hands-on mo to gagawin. So una, di ba sabi dyan, kung makikita niyo dun sa below, first you have to observe. Pangalawa, kailangan mo magplano or you have to take an action plan para ma-solve yung in-observe mo. Pangatlo, pag may action plan ka na, yung pangatlo is gagawin mo na siya. Or kung ano yung napagplanuhan nyo, gagawin nyo na siya sa step 3. And then sa 4 is your reflection after yung ginawa, yung action plan. Ano yung nangyari? So ito medyo isa sang type ng research na kailangan meron kang outcome or output. Yung output mo, it's either magiging positive siya regarding sa action plan mo, sa step 2 mo, or magiging negative yung output mo regarding dun sa naging plan mo para isolve yung issue or concern kaya ka nag-research. Next is record keeping. When researchers use existing records available on the research topic, the records can be of documents, interviews, observations, etc. The researchers then study these records to form conclusion. Di ba meron tayong mga research topic na documented o kaya may mga videos regarding with the interviews. Yung mga type ng record keeping na to, makikita nyo to sa mga libraries. Tapos, kung ano yung laman ng records or ng let's say ng book na yon, doon kayo kukuha ng conclusion nyo regarding sa research topic ninyo or concern ninyo. Wala kayong ibang kukuhanan ng information. Yun lang. Hindi kayo magtatanong. Mag-check kayo ng records. So, pwedeng books, sa library, pwede rin naman sa website. Basta make sure kapag may kinuha kayong reference, huwag kakalimutan kung kanino nanggaling to avoid plagiarism. So next is the importance of qualitative research. So gaano ba siya ka-importante? So first, depth in understanding provides deep insights and comprehensive understanding of complex phenomena. So kaya ka nga nagre-research para maintindihan ang isang bagay. Theory and hypothesis generation contributes to theory development and generates hypothesis for further research. So, una naman, kapag halimbawa na qualitative research kayo, may theory talaga. Tapos, hypothesis is testing your guess kung tama ba siya or hindi. Next is diverse perspective. Highlights diverse voices and experiences. So, hindi lang kayo nagpo-focus sa isa. Ito ay iba't klaseng experiences coming from different people. Flexibility. Researchers can adopt a number of approaches during data collection. Tama yun. Kasi you're going to speak with other people tapos you will ask them tungkol sa experiences nila, tungkol sa perception nila. So, wala kang isang info lang na nakukuha. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng tao ay isa lang ang perception tungkol sa isang bagay. Next is complements quantitative research. Enhances this understanding of complex issues that are not resolvable using quantitative research. So halimbawa ang research hindi siya kayang isolve ng numerical data. So qualitative research ang gagamitin para ma-solve siya. Quantitative kasi nag-i-study siya tungkol sa dami. So numbers, kapag qualitative, human experiences, perceptions, and the likes. So next is sensitive issues. It can help researchers study sensitive issues that require data on experience and perspective rather than statistics. Marami kasi tayong sensitive issues na hindi kailangan ng numbers para ma-prove yung research mo. So kailangan mas mapo-prove kasi ng sensitive issues ang about sa experiences and perception ng human being. So always remember, qualitative research is a useful tool for studying human experiences and behaviors in detail. Despite its challenges and limitations, it offers deep insights, making it essential in many fields. So if you want to do a research or study regarding with human experiences, qualitative research is the best tool that you could use.